Welcome back to News Across Nigeria. Before we continue, we'd like to let you know that channelstv.com has more information for you. And on youtube.com/channelsweb, you can watch our videos. You can also watch us on your mobile device via your browser or download the Channels TV app for Android, iOS, and Windows devices from their respective stores. That's not all. Besides giving you access to news updates, the Channels TV and Channels 24 app have an eyewitness feature. You can use that to share pictures, videos, or even news of happenings around you. Just install the app, then tap and swipe to reveal the menu and follow the instructions. Now, the MTN telecom company has suffered picketing from the NLC concerning the staff of the company, and earlier we sought the reaction of the network's management to the picketing of those offices around the country, and these were some of the concerns raised. Take a listen.
We got information that Labour was coming to the office across the country, Port Harcourt, Abuja, Kaduna, Bauchi, Owerri, Enugu, all that. It was mostly peaceful, we heard. The only untoward thing that happened is that in Lagos it got a bit violent. They beat up people, gained access to the office, drove everybody out of the office, slapped people around, kicked people and all that, and I think that's a bit of, I don't know, I think it's untoward. We got reports, we have videos of what happened in places like Abuja, for example, where they conducted themselves like absolute gentlemen, where they picketed the office and staff came out, senior staff came out and had conversations with them. We expected that it would be the same thing here in Lagos, that i.e. senior staff will go out and have conversations with them, but that opportunity did not arise. Our position is clear and remains the same. We are willing to recognize any union that staff form. We will recognize and deal with that union. But what we said we will not do is to actively force staff to become union members. Okay? Now there's a thin line for us to understand. By law, by the Constitution, there's freedom of association. If MTN goes ahead to force members of staff to become members of any union, that would be derogating from their rights. They have the right to form a union, yes. They have the right to join any union. And where and if they do, our job as management is to recognize and to deal with that union. Going forward, we expect that the Ministry of Labour, for example, should be able to come in and say, hold on a minute, we need to have conversations around this because there are laws that people should obey. We expect, we have reported what has happened to the EVC of the NCC and to the NCC generally. We are going to formalize that report with a letter detailing what has happened. Certain critical infrastructure were directly threatened. Certain office premises were gates and all that were broken down, generators were shut down, and those things will bring to the notice of government because, of course, the implications are dire for the nation. But that said, the thing is dialogue. No matter how, no matter what it is, there will always be room for people to sit down and have a conversation.
And joining us on the program, News Across Nigeria, is the Vice President of the Nigeria Labour Congress, Mr. Amaechi Asugini. Thank you for being with us.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Before we even get to the alleged violence perpetrated by the NLC at their offices, yes, as alleged, let's even begin with some clarity for us. So you said that there's a strict no union policy on the part of MTN. Yeah. They're saying that they have no problem with the unions, but they have a problem with forcing their members to be, their staff to become union members. So could you clarify for us what is exactly going on?
I think an insider who already know the attitude of MTN will know, even from his own speech, reading his tongue, you know the adamancy of MTN in him. As yesterday I saw this man, I never knew he was one of the top persons that could represent them even to talk. But he sidelined himself He actually deliberately avoided talking to us. I saw him, in fact, I interrogated him when he was coming out from the building, and he just came out like a staff, like a cleaner, and they were pretending to lie that nobody was in there. MTN has deliberately decided to threaten any worker who indicate interest to belong to trade union, and they sack those workers. And for you know what that means. It returns fears to the remaining members.
Do you have proof of this?
We have proof. NUPTE is the direct union for this, and they've gone there having meeting with the people. Probably some people may feel form. The next time they call, you may not see those people. So they know they have a standard that they use in putting a threat to you. You see that you lose your job. Now he's saying you have the right to join, but the question is MTN has the right also to either retain you or sack you. That they put to the workers.
After,
and workers want to keep
having
their job.
expressed your wish to be in a union,
exactly,
you'd be treated unfairly.
Exactly.
Is that what you're alleging?
Yes, that is the practice there.
Okay, now they allege that instead of the peaceful protest that they expected, although you said it happened in some places, in some other quarters, that wasn't the case. Were your people violent? Did you destroy things? You know,
the story is fair because NLC is known for what they did yesterday, and it has never been through violence. Neither will any of us lead our members to conduct violence as a result of picketing. He was in Lagos. Probably that was why he now took the narration that Lagos was violent. But by the grace of God, the NLC president was personally in Lagos. Even today, he led today protests in Lagos, picketing rather, and tomorrow it continues. So they are using some of this attitude, like the president said, to divert attention of Nigerians from actually pointing to the real question. Why have you refused dialogue that you respect? Before now, we have engaged them before the picketing. NLC has engaged MTN before now. They promise, there's no problem, give room. Give the atmosphere. Allow us to have engagement with these people who are willing to join the union. Inaugurate them to have representative, to have access to collective bargaining, have the right to negotiate their salary. That is what the law provides. So they are trying to use all this kind of machinery in oppressing them. Now they are sending this signal of violence so that Nigerians will begin to now. They can establish.
Do you think they have proof of it?
They can have anything, but as far as I'm concerned, our members did not do any damage to MTN property. And the picketing continues.
Of particular interest to me is the cruel working condition. You know that the worker you've spoken to the workers.
Yes.
Are they really suffering cruel working conditions in MTN?
As a matter of fact, they are also suffering damage of more or less mental damage.
How?
To the extent that they are being threatened not to even speak out. But at least for some of them that were bold, they have told us of the stories of those that were sacked as a result of expression of their right to belong to trade union. And even as they are talking to us, do you know that because MTN heard that we are coming to picket them, workers resumed work 4 a.m. yesterday? Unimaginable. We got there 5 a.m. unknowing to us that workers had resumed. So, but some workers keep saying that we were inside, though. You people should know that we are still inside. It took us with the police to get entrance. He said we broke and get entrance. There is no place we went to yesterday without the police representatives. We went inside their premises. We got in with the police. We saw the workers, more than 100 people on that building. And that was when they started leaving. That of
course, has to do also with the attitude towards unionism, about concerning the working conditions. Are they underpaid? Are they working longer hours?
The working condition is poor. You know, where you have...
I know it's sensitive because MTN is a South African origin company.
That makes it worse because in South Africa, they belong to union and they treat their workers well. In Nigeria, they're taking advantage of unemployment rate in this country to now place workers where they want, not necessarily where their qualification want to take them to. For me, they are undermining workers, they are maltreating them, and they're giving them this treatment that has no regard.
One second, how far are you prepared to go?
We are going as far as we can until this matter is resolved. For me, there's no going back. It's a neck decision to ensure that MTN workers are rescued. And we'll do that with all it takes, legitimately.
Thank you so much for your time, sir. The Vice President of the Nigeria Labour Congress, Mr. Amaechi Asuguni. You're watching news across Nigeria. Thousands of teachers targeted for a loan in Niger State. Details when we return.